Hey, what is going on, everyone? And let me wish you a huge warm welcome to the first tutorial of this series on Flutter. I'm Wicked, and today I'll be guiding you throughout an introduction on BLoC, explaining why I chose BLoC as my favorite state management library and design pattern, going through the main aspects of it, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll have yourself some good reference on why it's an amazing idea to start and use BLoC on every project from now on. So without further ado, let's get right into it. But first of all, let me ask you a question. Have you ever installed an application which started to crash for no reason while using it? An app perhaps that after you clicked a button in order to load some data, freeze for 3-4 seconds without displaying absolutely any message into the UI? Or maybe an app which only works with internet connection but goes haywire if there's no one available? I'm assuming that at least for some of you, the answer will be definitely yes. Then you'll know how frustrating it is for a user to not receive a visual representation for any interaction with the application. The main problem here is that the code is not clear, organized, maintainable, nor testable. Developers of these apps are thinking about what works for the moment instead of reflecting what would work in maintaining the app in the long run. The main idea in programming is that you and your team need to write code using an architecture which fits you the best, an architecture which can accommodate every feature and scale over time. Now let me give you a quick story. In my first weeks of learning Flutter and Dart from some tutorials online, I wanted to give it a try and build my own first app by myself. But eventually, after a couple of days of coding, I was struck by the feeling that I cannot maintain the code anymore due to the fact that all of it was spread throughout the app randomly. So there was the moment when I learned the most important lesson. I have started to look for a way to organize and structure the ideas and features in my code in order to build an application that will be maintainable and scalable over time. In Flutter, the best way to keep your code organized, clean, and maintainable is to have a component which can mediate what the user sees, often referred as UI, frontend, or presentation, and the logic behind it. This component I'm referring to is, as you may have already guessed, BLoC, which is an abbreviation for Business Logic Component. Generally speaking, BLoC is a design pattern created by Google to help separate business logic from the presentation layer and enable developers to reuse code more easily. There is a state management library created and maintained by Felix Angelov called BLoC, which helps developers implement the BLoC design pattern in their Flutter applications. What does this mean actually? Well, as developers, it's really necessary to know what the state of our app is at any time. Remember when I said that for every interaction with the app, there should be something displayed on the screen to let the user know what's going on? Technically, for every interaction, the application should be in a different state. For example, when the data is fetching, the app should be in a loading state displaying a loading animation on the screen. When the internet is off, the application should display a pop-up to let the user know that there is no internet connection. This is good app design, thinking of every possible case and having a state emerging from it. So not only does the BLoC library separate presentation from business logic, it also simplifies the way we manage the state of the application. So, after all, by learning BLoC and using the BLoC library, you'll have the following huge advantages which will lead you and your team to be better developers. BLoC will allow you to have a better understanding of what's happening inside your own app, thus making it more organized, structured, and easier to test and maintain. There won't be a moment in which you won't know what the state of your app is. Because of the way BLoC is built, for every user interaction, there will be an emerging state, making the whole state management issue simple to overcome. And all within a single stable and powerful BLoC codebase, following its patterns and conventions. In the next video from the series, we'll learn about the core concepts in more detail, introducing events, states, transitions, streams, blocks, qubits, and many more. Until then, I hope that this tutorial on BLoC was of great help for you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until next time, take care. Wicked is out. Bye bye.